Hey everybody, I'm Michael DiTullo. Welcome to my studio. And today I want to be talking about ways to stay motivated while searching for a job in design. Finding a job in design can be really difficult. Those dream jobs are few and far between. Jobs might be in a different geographic region than you are right now. A company may or may not be hiring. And to add to all of that, in 2020, we have a whole host of additional complications. So in this video, I want to give you guys some tips for how to stay motivated in that time when you're in that job search and it can just feel so hard. And before I do that, I really want to get into my time in between school and my first job. It took me about 6 months and it was a really difficult period for me. So I want to share a little bit about that story and what helped get me through it. So to do that, we need to back up a little bit a few months before graduation. In my last term at RISD, I was doing sponsored projects in parallel for both Nike and Nissan. The Nike project was a little bit time shifted because we were doing it in conjunction with Harvard, and there were 3 students from RISD and 3 students from the Harvard MBA program working together on projects. And Nike was kind enough to have us come out to kick off the project, and then we flew back out at the end to present the results. And amazingly, when I got back to school, there was an email in my inbox from the head of design at Nike, Dave Scanoni at the time. And the email read, "Hey Michael, we really loved your final presentation. I was talking to some of the other designers here, and we felt you should be working here." Pretty amazing, right? Now, a normal person would have replied to that email right away and said, "Dave, thank you so much. I can't believe this. Sign me up. Where do I sign? Send me the paperwork." But instead, like an idiot, I wrote an email that said, "Hey Dave, thanks so much for your email. Really loved the project. I also have another project going with Nissan that goes 2 more months and I kind of want to see where that pans out. So could I give you an email after graduation to see where everything stands?" Amazingly, he was super kind and said, "Hey Michael, no worries, just let me know." So I finished the work with Nissan. I had what I felt was a pretty strong portfolio between the project I had done for Nike and then all my work with Nissan, but nothing materialized from it. And so after graduation, I replied to Dave and was like, "Hey, I would love that job if it's still available." And Dave replied, "Oh, Michael, that's great. Really excited that you're interested in it, but we've had a really bad quarter, and so we have a hiring freeze." And if I had only accepted the job when he had given it, I probably would have had one. But instead, they were in a hiring freeze that could last 6, 7, 10 months. And so with no job and no money, I had to move back in with my parents. And I started to get into a bit of a bad place. It just gets to be a little bit scary. And I realized I didn't really know how to write a resume. I didn't know how to write a cover letter. I didn't even really know how to put together a professional portfolio. And remember, at the time in the 90s, it's not like there was Behance or Coraflat. At the time, Coraflat was just a job posting board. There was no portfolio hosting. And I just felt really lost. And after a few weeks of that, at some point I just decided I had to basically, to get through it, I had to pretend like I had a job. And the job that I had was to get a job. So I set up a studio basically in my parents' basement, and I just got to work every day. And every day I'd set projects for myself, and I'd try to complete a project a week. Every 2 weeks I would redo my portfolio, and every Friday I would send work out to the heads of studios. Remember, at the time you couldn't email work, so I had to go to a print shop to get things printed nicely and mail them out. After a few months of doing that, I finally started to get some callbacks to at least do some freelance work. It wasn't consistent, it didn't pay a lot, but at least I was starting to get a sense for what professional work was like. And as I was learning more about professional work, that really fed my personal projects, because now I had this little glimmer as to what it took to be a professional designer, and I could take that information back to my little home basement studio and work on more projects. And then at some point, it all kind of dried up, and I just had nothing. And so, with really no money coming in, and my parents increasingly losing their patience with me, I applied for a job at Circuit City. For those of you that who are old enough, you might remember Circuit City. It was basically Best Buy. And I got that job, and I'll never forget the day before it was supposed to be my first day. I got an email from a design firm asking me to come in for an interview on what would be my first day of work at Circuit City. So I made a decision. I actually called up Circuit City on what was supposed to be my first day, and I quit before my first shift. And I remember the manager being really baffled. They're like, "So you're quitting, though you haven't started, for a job interview?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go on this interview and get that job." And so I gathered up all the work that I had been putting together and went on that job interview at Evo Design. I really connected with the design director there, who was about 8 or 9 years older than me, so it was a pretty young director, Aaron Szymanski, and he offered me a job that day. And as is always the case, it's super ironic. Literally that week, I started to get callbacks from Design Continuum and a bunch of other design firms that were interested in me. But I just had a really good feeling about that job. And ironically, 2 years later at Evo, I was working late one night. I pick up the phone. I was the only one left in the studio. The phone rings, and it's Dave Scanoni from Nike with a bunch of projects to give Evo. And 2 years later, I was working at Nike. So it all worked out in the end, but it can be hard. It can be hard to see that it will work out when you're deep in the process. So here's 3 things that I want you to do if you're struggling right now to get that job. The first thing I want you to do if you're struggling to find that job is I want you to pretend like you have a job. And really, you do. Your job is to go find a job. So the things you can do within that macro title is you need to be working on your portfolio all the time. A portfolio is a living document. It's never done. You're always working on it. I want you to be working on projects. Think about what your dream job is and what type of projects you may have to do there. Do those projects for yourself. There's been many times in my career where I've set projects for myself. Like after 8 years at Nike, when I wanted to move to Frog, I knew I couldn't just show them a bunch of footwear. So I did a bunch of consumer electronics projects. And then when I was done with the projects, I would send them to blogs like Core 77 and Gizmodo. And guess what? Those blogs would publish those projects because they need content. And now, of course, you can publish them to social media, which gets me to my third thing, which is you need to be building your reputation. And it could be hard right now. You can't really network. You can't get out there into the world in 2020. But you can be posting to Instagram, be posting to the Core 77 forums, be participating in other online things like the Minor Details Discord. You can be posting to LinkedIn. You can even be casting a net out onto Facebook. Take advantage of the amazing tools you have to distribute your work. And use those platforms not to network. Network is kind of a not fun word. Use those platforms to build relationships. Comment on designers' work that you admire. Ask them how they got to where they are. Do whatever you can to start building connections with people so that you can get one step closer to getting that job. The second thing you need to do if you're out there looking for a job and you're starting to feel a little less motivated, you need to stay inspired. Being inspired is like putting money in the bank. You need to invest in yourself. You can't just always be pulling designs from inside of yourself. You need to be feeding yourself with inspiration. So whatever that is for you, for me, it's reading tons of books. I read sci-fi novels like nobody's business. I just love to read, watching movies, going to see art, listening to music. You can't really go out and see music right now, but follow what the new albums are on Spotify and just take time to listen to them. You need to really do those things to keep your spirits up and to also just kind of take time for yourself. The third tip I have is to just really be kind to yourself. It can be hard to do, especially as a designer. We are trained to look for the mistakes in things, and that includes our own work, and we start doubting ourselves, right? But you need to be kind to yourself. This is a process, and so you're not going to do anybody any good if you're not getting good sleep, if you're not eating right, if you're not staying healthy and exercising. All those things will help you to stay positive so that when you do get that interview or you do get the chance to respond to an email, you're in the right frame of mind, because so much of that is attitude, right? People want to hire people that exude a kind of positive energy and feel like people they want to spend time with. Like, think about it. Like, when you're working with someone, you're spending 40, 50 hours a week with them every week. People want to hire people they want to spend that much time with. And in order to present your best self, you need to take care of yourself. And just know that there's only so much you can do. Even if you do all three things that I talked about, pretend like you have a job, work at getting a job like it is his job. 2, staying inspired. 3, being kind to yourself and taking care of yourself. Even doing all of those things, you can't force a job to appear out of nothing, right? I think somebody once told me this, and I always keep it in mind, and that's that opportunities don't come when you're ready. They come when they are ready. So do your best to be ready when that opportunity comes your way. All right, everybody, I hope that was helpful. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Are you looking for a job right now? Are you struggling? Do you have a story of finding your first job? Would love to read about it down there in the comments. If you want to see a video on the 4 things I think every designer needs to be successful, click that over here. If you like what you're seeing, please click subscribe over here. Until next time, keep at it. All right, take it easy.